We made it. Oh my goodness. Had a few Wi-Fi problems right up to the last minute, of course. Just like the old days back in television, it was always, the camera dies 10 seconds before you go live. Anyways, the Wi-Fi's back up running. Welcome. I'm Barry. I'm Bailey the Bookman here at Bailey Books in St. Albert, Alberta. And I want to welcome all my fellow COVID refugees here to the bookstore for a little, a little half hour of just relax, get away from the world. We can all visit and, keep each other company for a little while. And I have a few folks I want to thank, as I normally do when we start off an episode, but two very specific people. So, like many small business people here, Brian, good morning. Many of us are struggling. Well, pretty much all of us are struggling. Of course, revenues have dropped off considerably. Stores are closed. People have had to be laid off. All sorts of things we've just had to do because we have to do it. So my landlord here for the bookstore sent us a note yesterday and said that he's come up with a package to help us out with the rent for the next couple of months. And then we can work it out, add it on, but it's a huge help. It's a huge help, especially, for small businesses. So I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Ivan and Kim, our landlords here at Bailey Books in the Real Business Park. Awesome. Thank you so much for working with all of your tenants, not just me. The second shout out I'd like to give is to my optometrist at FYI here in St. Albert. I had a rather urgent eye bell issue yesterday. And no, I wasn't going to look for new rims or colors. I needed to have my eye looked at. So I phoned them up and they got me in. They had some excellent protocols in place to keep everyone safe, them, me, and other people that might come in for urgent needs at the optometrist. So thank you very much, everyone at FYI, for helping me out with that. Very much appreciated. Who else have we got? Yes, good morning, Rob. Ivan is awesome. He has been a pillar of our community for many, many years. He's kind of semi-retired now. I don't think Ivan will ever actually retire, but he's a great guy, great St. Albertan, and a wonderful landlord. So I wake up this morning and it's minus 30 Celsius here with the wind chill. Oh, bright and sunny. It's like, what in the actual fudge is going on? It's April, minus 30. Enough. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. I don't want to be a whiner. So we're gonna play a little bit of a literary jeopardy here in a few minutes. Just want to let a few more folks join in so that it's easy to do. Balmy sunny day in Canada, isn't that the truth, Rob? It's always sunny. Minus 30. So before we start the Jeopardy game, I just want to say it's very helpful to me to come on here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I can hardly tell the right headroom there. It's helpful to come on every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and do these YouTube bits and kind of virtually visit with folks from literally all over, well, so far, North America. And it's great. And you know what? It makes me kind of get my butt out of bed. I shave. You noticed? Yeah, I shave. Do my hair. Put on pants. Am I wearing pants? But it kind of makes it like a normal day where you have to kind of get up, go out, put a little aftershave on, and it just helps to normalize things a little bit. So, otherwise we'd all end up looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway with the hair and the beards. And So we don't want that, right? So thank you. This is an awesome treat for me to come out and interact with everyone. Oh my goodness, it's a small miracle. Frederick or Rick has joined us live today. Good morning, Rick. How's things in Seattle? Is it minus 30 there for the literary Jeopardy? As it stands right now, we have 4 folks. Uh-oh. So a couple more minutes. So let me think here. Last summer, I went and saw a woman who was downsizing her home and moving into a condo, and she had a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of. And I went and helped her out, looked at some of her books, and bought some, took some others to the Goodwill for her. And she handed me this plastic bag and said, "Oh, there's some magazines and stuff in here." Now, I don't typically deal with magazines and newspapers and kind of the paper stuff. I kind of focus on books because I have enough to learn about books without taking on another stream. But the other day, I thought I came across this bag. I'd set it in a corner, and actually I'd forgotten about it. So I opened it up, and I thought, "Oh, I wonder what's in there after all." So I'm going to show you what I found in there, and it's all basically newspapers and some magazines, but some really cool ones. This is maybe the saddest day in Canadian history. Okay, Edmonton history. The day Gretzky traded to LA. Curse you, Peter Bocklington. So we've got that. It's from Friday, October 1st, 1999. Gretzky traded in August, though. I remember watching it live on TV in my office, and it was like, oh, everyone was, what? This can't be. Here is another one. This is called the Evening Journal, Edmonton, Alberta, Saturday, September 2nd, 1905. And the headline reads, Alberta, a province. I think this is an actual newspaper from 1905. I'm going to have to, oh, they don't smell very good. I'm going to have to take this to a friend of mine and get this authenticated and see. Good morning, Deanna. Late? That's okay. CFO can come and go as she needs to and pleases. She's a very, very important, busy person. Ferndale, just south of Canada. So you're around 12 degrees, Rick. 40 Fahrenheit. Oh, so shorts. Anyways, pretty cool. A headline, being an Albertan. I hope that is an actual authentic newspaper. Here is one. It's just the front page, and it is from November the 11th, 1918. And it says, and this is from the Rochester Times Union, Rochester, New York. Victory and peace. Isn't that something? Now, I'm pretty sure this one is authentic, but again, I need to get some research done on these. But yeah, November the 11th, 1918, and we all know what a very, very important day November 11th is to all of us. Here's from the last one, from the Edmonton Journal, August 15th, 1945. End of World War II. And there's the headline for what was, well, I was born and raised in Edmonton, grew up there. So this was my hometown newspaper headline at the end of World War II. And I can't imagine what a generation that was, at so much sacrifice for all of us. Okay, so, we're going to fire up Literary Jeopardy. Now, just a few basic rules, really basic. First one is no cheating. So I don't want any Googling. I don't want any devices. Put away all of that stuff. This is for this. Got to be thinking. You don't have to type in the what is part. just the answer. If it's one word or a phrase, whatever, just the answer so that it speeds things up. And you do have to call me Alex. Okay? The thinker. Okay, that wasn't quite the question yet, Rick. Calm down. Okay, so here we go. Question number 1, fingers ready on your keyboards. The Spielberg Holocaust film was based on a book by Thomas Keneally. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Any takers? The Spielberg Holocaust film was based on a book by Thomas Keneally, and it was called Schindler's List. We have a winner. Oh, the CFO. Look out, guys. You're in tough. Very good, Deanna. Somebody keep score for me. This is a novel by Chuck Palahniuk was the basis for this film, starring the very dreamy Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. What is the name of that book by Chuck Palahniuk? Yeah, well, we knew what you meant, D. At least you didn't swear. Okay, Fight Club. Yes, you are right, Rob. That is a kind of a bizarre movie. If you've never seen it, I actually haven't read the book, but yeah, weird movie, Fight Club. And I guess some of these kind of exist. I'm not sure. Not something a club that I would want to join. Okay. Okay, so we have 1 point each for Rob and Deanna. Okay, everybody ready? Fingers on the keyboards. This film with Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci was based on the book Wise Guy, Life in a Mafia Family. Starring Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci. Goodfellas! Holy smokes, Deanna is on fire today. Come on, you guys. Step up here. Give her a little competition. Okay, next, fingers on the ready. Emma Stone played aspiring writer. Deanna, you can't answer this one. The Emma Stone played. Oh, oops. Sorry, D. Yeah. Yeah, it is Rob. Okay. Sorry, Rob. I know you guys will keep me on my toes. Okay. Emma Stone played aspiring writer Skeeter Phelan in this 60s set film based on the novel of the same name. It was a very good movie. That's right. Yeah. She heard me when I was writing these up the other night at the dinner table. So she's honest. Okay. This Emma Stone played aspiring writer Skeeter Phelan in the 60s set film based on the novel of the same name. Any takers? Any takers? By the way, if Daryl dies, we riot. No kidding. We'll riot. Okay. The name of that book that film was based on was called The Help. There you go. Okay. Our next category for 600. One-word book titles. This book by Malcolm Gladwell, subtitled The Power of Thinking Without Thinking, is a real eye-opener. Any takers on this one? Any takers? This book by Malcolm Gladwell, subtitled The Power of Thinking Without Thinking, is a real eye-opener. Am I still alive? Is there anybody watching? Did Deanna have to go back to work? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blink. by Malcolm Gladwell. Actually, Rob and I had an opportunity to see Malcolm Gladwell speak at the Winspear here a few months ago, and it was a very entertaining presentation. Interesting guy. It was fun. Eye closer. Okay. Next up, Born a Slave. Seth escapes to Ohio but is haunted by memories of a lost baby in this Toni Morrison novel called Born a Slave. Seth escapes to Ohio but is haunted by memories of a lost baby in this Toni Morrison novel. Of course, Toni, very well respected novelist. Roots. Roots. It's Alex Haley, I think. It's a very much book. It's by many. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Title of that book is called Beloved. Okay. Here's one. I don't know. Did Lisa sign on? No, she's probably still sleeping out there on the wet coast. 2 psychics have a pyrokinetic child in this Stephen King work called Turn Out All of Us Own a Bookstore. Well, I'm not playing. To be honest with you, I didn't get a lot of these answers. I had to research them a little bit. Fire Starter is correct. Carrie? Carrie? No. Oh, Carrie. 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 No, I thought it was Carrie as well, but it is Fire Starter because it's a pyrokinetic child. Hey, good job, Deanna. I think Deanna is spanking just about everybody. Anybody? What's the score? What's the score? Who's been keeping score? This 1974 James Michener novel covers centuries, not just one significant year in the history of Colorado, and it is called any James Michener fans out there? That man wrote a ton of books. Like his list is about that long. Okay, that might be a tougher one. Oh, close, Rick, close. Any other guesses? 74 James Michener novel covers centuries, not just one significant year in the history of Colorado. And the title of that book is called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Centennial. Okay, here's an interesting question. This might be up your alley, Rob, because you're about that generation, I think. So in this 1984 William Gibson, a Canadian, cyberpunk classic, a data thief matches wits with a powerful artificial intelligence in the novel called, I don't know. Brian, I don't know what generation you are, where you set in. You might be qualified for this one as well. Time Bandits. No, Rob. Okay, Rob's the comic relief for us today. Read it again, please. Great movie. Oh, no question. Time Bandits is a classic, but that's not what we're looking for, Rob. In 1984, William Gibson's cyberpunk classic, a data thief matches wits with a powerful artificial intelligence in this novel called Mr. Gibson actually invented the phrase cyberpunk, cyberspace. He was way ahead of the curve. Okay, no takers? No takers? No, Rob. You're just shooting, arrows into the sky, aren't you? Aren't you, Lollisher? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's called Neuromancer. Okay. Here's one. I know. Rick might get this one for sure. Boy Climber Shop manuals and music for me. Robot? No. Okay, everybody calm down. Okay, we're going to move to the next one. Pebble in the Sky was his first novel, the foundation of a long and prolific career writing science fiction. And this author is the only author that I know of, and I believe exists, that has a book in every category of the Dewey Decimal System. Think about that. A book in published book in each category. Asimov. I knew you were going to get that one, Rick. Yes, it is Isaac Asimov. If you've never read the Foundation trilogy, I highly recommend it. And as it turns out, I looked in the shop for some Asimov titles, and this I don't have Pebble in the Sky. I wish I did, because man, it's worth a small fortune. Fantastic Voyage. This was such a great movie when I saw it as a teenager. Woo! Okay. Way to go, Rick. Yes. Do you have any accounting questions? Oh, geez, eh? Do I have to pay GST on anything? Do I get it back? Okay. Okay, let's okay, I don't have any young readers on here. So how about this one? A futuristic society revolves around science and efficiency in this 1932 novel by Aldous Huxley. It's a classic. Everyone knows this one. Accounting asks, what do you want the answers to be? Yeah, no kidding. Okay, a futuristic society revolves around science and efficiency in this 1932 novel by Aldous Huxley. No. Good guess, though, D. That's not it. Star Trek, Animal Farm. No, you guys are all around it except for Rob. Star Wars, Star Trek. Is there no adults around your house, Rob, to supervise you? Okay, one more. We have a winner, Deanna. Brave New World. Excellent. Okay, who's winning? Who's keeping score? I asked somebody to keep score. Rick, you were that close. That close. Okay, here's one. Maybe even Lawlisher can get. I converse with a 7-year-old each day. What? No one would know that for sure. Okay. Okay, this is a bit of a tough one, but everyone knows this. Joad. Tom Joad. So I need tell you what, give me the title of the book or the author. And the question is, a line from this novel is, name's Joad, Tom Joad. Any takers? Well, author or title of the book on this one. Name's Joad, Tom Joad. Okay, that's a tough one, I guess. You may recognize it. Made into a fantastic movie starring Henry Fonda way back when. First editions of this book are going to run you probably 5 figures, but one in my shop, $15. Okay. What time is it? How long have we been doing this? I'm having so much. Oh my gosh, we're almost a half an hour in. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna skip ahead to this one goes back a ways, but perhaps we have some folks. I'm thinking Rick maybe. It's the title town where two former Texas Rangers lived in the 1870s in a classic novel by Larry McMurtry. The title town where two former Texas Rangers live in the 1870s in a classic novel by Larry McMurtry was also one of the first miniseries on television. Um, and little known fact, Larry McMurtry was a fanatical book collector. He had like literally tens of thousands of books in first edition. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Tombstone? No, no, good guess. The gosh, the mini series was on in the 80s, something like that. Okay, Titletown, where two former Texas Rangers live in the 1870s, in a classic novel by Larry McMurtry. The answer is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lonesome Dove. Okay, how about I'm going to go skip ahead to here's this is called category is a tree grows in Bookland, not Brooklyn, Bookland. Okay, the Whomping Willow does its whomping on the grounds of this castle. The Whomping Willow does its whomping on the grounds of this castle. Any guesses? That was a very, very popular series. Hogwarts, we have a winner, Rob Lawlisher. And I have 2 copies of the second one, Harry Potter, and the Chamber of Secrets. On the books site that I sell on, A-Books, the highest selling book last year was J.K. Rowling's signed first edition of the first book. And the first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Very hard to find because they printed so few copies of it, and most of them went to schools, so they got mangled and ratted out. But if you can get your paws on one of those, again, you're looking at 5 figures and up if they're signed. Yeah, you might have a good college fund. So, and what's weird is I have 2 copies of it. One is $20 and one is $120. This is a 4th printing. This is a 7th printing. So for the second book, even a 4th printing carries some value to it. And it has a little bit of water damage on some of the pages. Crazy, right? Okay. Here we go. The party tree that grew in the Middle-earth land was the location of Bilbo's farewell speech. Where would that have been held? The party tree that grew in this Middle-earth land was the location of Bilbo's farewell speech. Any guesses on that one? We must have some Middle-earth fans out there. I got to think. Something patch. Oh my God, Rob, that's it. Oh, no. The party tree that grew in this Middle-earth land, where did they all live? They lived in the... No? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They all lived in the Shire. Okay. Before I go, I got to show you one of my Tolkien books. And it's funny. This is the history of Middle Earth, and it's by Christopher Tolkien, his son. It's called The Lost Road and Other Writings, Volume 5. So his son did a lot of work after his father passed away. And it's funny how, much like Arthur Conan Doyle and Sherlock Holmes, there's 100 times more books written about Sherlock and Doyle than there are actually books written by Conan Doyle. And very much holds true for J.R.R. Tolkien. And there's never-ending versions of books and research and so on and so forth. And this is an English copy from the 80s, and they're, strangely enough, they're a little bit scarce. I have one in the shop here for just $85. Okay, we're gonna have to get moving here. We're at a half an hour already. Okay, after this title character accepts Rochester's proposal, lightning splits a chestnut tree at Thornfield Hall. What is the name of that book? After this title character, that's who we're looking for, accepts Rochester's proposal, lightning splits a chestnut tree at Thornfield Hall. Let me think. Title of the book or even the author? I'll take the author in this case. Bob. Rob. Robbie Bobby. Yeah, no, Bob's incorrect. Okay. Are these too hard? I guess I should get some more easier ones. Okay, this title character accepts Rochester's proposal, lightning splits a chestnut tree at Thornfield Hall, and the title of that book is called Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Okay, let's no, you guys will never get those ones. Okay, here's a category. Hints? I don't know. Okay, this category is called Her First Published Book, and this is going to be our last category. I knew that. Yeah, sometimes these things are like on the tip of your brain, and you go, Happens to me all the time. Okay, this category, Her First Published Book. In 1811, Sense and Sensibility. She went on to a dazzling literary career. So her first published book was in 1811. Jane Austen is correct. Thank you, Deanna. From 1920, and don't forget these are female authors. Rick, she's a quick typer. Not a great speller, but a quick typer. Okay, from 1920, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. This British woman wrote a ton of mysteries. This was her first one, published in 1920. We died. Alrighty, 1920, her first book was called The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Hints. She wrote detective fiction, many of which were made into movies. And they continue to make them into movies today. One being Murder on the Orient Express. That's all the hints I can give you. I need the author. Rick, Deanna, Agatha, or Argaha, as she was often known. We have multiple winners on that one. Well done. From a more recent publication, you're working. Well, priorities, Deanna. Come on, we're playing a game here. A more recent author from 2005. This woman wrote the series called Twilight. Yeah, it's kind of spooky, scary stuff. And they made a TV show out of it, and movies, and all sorts of stuff. And her name is, don't forget, these are women authors. Yes, it's Myers, but well done, Rick. Okay. Okay, here's the last one. Movie, no TV. Oh, well, there you go. Thank you for that correction. Okay, this is the last one. I haven't kept score, but I guess maybe we don't need to. This is for fun, right? In 1865, this is quotable books, Alex, for 1,000. In 1865, she was walking by the white rabbit who was peeping anxiously into her face. Title of this book, written in 1865, and here's the quote from it. She was walking by the white rabbit who was peeping anxiously into her face. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first? Alice in Wonderland. Rob, you got one right. It's a miracle. Woo, take a bow, Rob. Oh, yes. Okay. So, and here's a copy I have in the shop of Alice in Wonderland. And it's kind of a cool illustration. It's a little beat up and whatnot. It's I like the end papers as well. So I'm going to take this copy and I'm going to pull it apart. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save the end papers, and I'm going to rebind it. I think maybe in a cloth version. I don't know. Fool around and do something with it. We'll figure it out. Look at this. The youngster that owned this book made their own library pocket and a little card you could sign it out. So maybe she was hoping her brothers or sisters would take it. I thought that was really cute. Anyway, yeah, so I'll put that on my to-do shelf, and we'll figure it out. Okay. My goodness, that was a quick. Oh, of Alice in Wonderland? Well, it is one of the most difficult books to identify as a true first edition, because for God's sake, what's his name? Charles. They came up with a first edition that was all set. It went to print, and he looked at it, and he didn't like the font or some of the illustrations or something. He said, "No, stop!" And they pulled it off, and they did some reprinted another run, but they included parts that he wanted. It was they kept starting and stopping, and so it's one of those books where you can depends who you ask what is the first edition, but again, are upwards. They're pushing can push upwards of $100,000 for first editions. And if there's some association or an inscription, Charles Dodson, that was his real name, and he lived in oh gosh, we were there. Anyway, in England, and he was a part-time preacher, and so yeah, I wish I had a first edition of this. I don't know, would I sell it or keep it? Boy, that's one of those books. Wouldn't that be nice in your own collection? Okay. We'll talk about Charles Dodson and Guildford. That was the name of the city we visited, and Dodson was a part-time minister there. Anyway, again, we'll talk about him another day, another episode. Thanks so much for joining in and participating, playing the game. Had a lot of fun. Hope you're all staying safe, stay healthy, stay home, and if you are interested in any of the books that I have here at the shop, I can still ship them out. If you're local, we can do a contactless pickup or delivery, and you can find my books at Bailey. Let me get this right: BaileyBookman.com, or email me BaileyBooks@tellus.net. BaileyBooks@tellus.net. Okay. Yes, everyone, have a safe day. Thanks for joining in. Okay, I think Mrs. Bailey won. Thanks. 3 thumbs up later. Okay, cheers, everyone. Be safe. Talk soon. See you Saturday morning.